I thought I'd do a quick video for everybody about some of my favorite tools, hand tools specifically. The first item on the list is a Pentel P207 mechanical pencil. It's the 0.7 millimeter. I use it, I've used these for years and years and years. I think it's about $10 to buy a 2-pack of them. The 0.7 millimeter simply breaks less than the 0.5 millimeter, and I never have trouble finding 0.7 millimeter lead, whereas the 0.9 I do have trouble finding it sometimes. It does have an eraser, pretty small, and it helps you out in a jam, but I always keep, well, and that, oh, there it is. I always keep a white eraser around. They don't fit on there, but I keep one handy. So that's the first item. The second item is a pair of Crescent flush cut pliers. I use these all the time. They're handy for zip ties, especially because they don't leave that razor sharp edge that you always catch the side of your hand or your knuckle on. They're spring loaded, so they open back up, which I've always liked about them. They last for years and years. You can even sharpen them if you really know what you're doing and have a nice touch with a grinding wheel or a sharpening stone. This is a pair I've had for quite a while. Use them all the time. They're also good, obviously, for cutting wire. I think in another video you saw me cutting the insulation on some wire with them, stuff like that. They're really handy, inexpensive. I use those constantly. One of the next items, I'm going in no specific order. What I have here is a pair of Brown & Sharpe 0 to 6 inch dial calipers. I have owned these for probably, well, I know I've owned them at least 25 years, but probably closer to 30. I am a former machinist by trade. When most people reach for a ruler, I typically reach for a pair of calipers. That's just that's just my go-to from working in a machine shop for years and years and years. They're great to have handy when I'm trying to get the right size drill bit without trying to read that super small printing, all that jazz. Obviously, there's other companies other than Brown & Sharpe that make calipers. You can get them in a variety of costs. You know, you can get plastic calipers, cheapo pair for $10. I think these are in the neighborhood of 200 at the current time. I didn't specifically look them up, but the model number on these calipers, it's the black face with the orange dial, the orange indicator, and the part number on these is 599-579-5. This is a standard Brown & Sharpe's been making for years and years. If you don't like the black face, I do believe there's also a silver face that they make with these. The next thing I use is I have a 6-inch steel rule or scale. It's made by iGaging, lowercase I, Gauging, Gaging. It has 30 seconds. It's got 64ths. It's got 1/8 inch and 16th inch scale on it. It also has the slider to make it a double square. I don't use that part very often. I find it very handy. I use it for all kinds of things. I use it as a straight edge to cut against. I use it constantly. It's always laying here on the workbench day in, day out. Use the heck out of it. One of the next items, and this, I'll be honest, for years and years, I had Craftsman screwdrivers. I got my first set when I was literally a teen. Used them for years and years. Whenever you'd wear out the tips, you take them back to Sears. They give you a new screwdriver. Away you go. With the demise of Sears, I know the Craftsman brand lives on. It's not the same as it used to be. They don't last the same. They don't wear the same. They're not as good at tools. That's my humble opinion. And for the record, I should have said this earlier, this is not a sponsored video in any way, shape, or form. But what I picked up was a set of Wera, W-E-R-A, screwdrivers. I have the whole set, but this particular one is a PH2 by 100. So it's a number 2 Phillips by 100 millimeter is what it's rated for. or what that 100 means. And the part number on this particular item is 08720. The number 2 Phillips, one of the most common size Phillips ever. I love the grip handle on them, the laser etching, and I don't know if you can actually see the laser etches in the tip, trying to make it so that it can grip better. It's a great screwdriver. The whole set works fantastic. That's my favorite one. It is usually laying on this workbench somewhere. A lot of times it's under a pile of crap, but it's down here. Next, this actually comes in a 4-piece set. These are picks made by Kobalt. I know Snap-on makes them and a variety of other manufacturers. I happen to get these, I don't even know how many years ago I've got these. There's the straight one, and then there's one that's hooked at a 90 degree. These are in the drawer of my workbench. They're always at the ready when I need to dig, pull, pluck, do whatever you need to do. Dig at something, pull something out, scrape, whatever. I use these nonstop. If anything ever happened to one or the other, I would immediately have to go out and buy another set. I mean, immediately. I use them nonstop. Love them. They're handy. These, like I said, are Kobalt. If you don't have a set, go get a set. I don't care what brand or manufacturer you get, but once you have a set, you'll wonder what you did without them. The next item is one of my favorite tools. I use this thing nonstop. This is a brass hammer. It's just a piece of brass bar stock. If memory serves, it's about 1.5 inches, I think. Nope, that's 1 inch. So that's a 1 inch piece of brass bar stock. I drilled a hole through it, put a handle on it, put the wedge in. I just drilled a hole in there, drove the wedge in, and on one face I epoxied a piece of leather, and on the other face it's just brass. I use this all the time, pound on stuff, bang on stuff. I wrap the handle in leather, and I use it constantly. It's always here. I use it a lot when I work on leather working projects. I use it, just to tap something, get it in place, aligned. I think I've replaced the leather face 3 or 4 times over the years. I also have a copper hammer. It's out of my toolbox in the garage. I think it's about a 2 inch in diameter. It's handy too. Being brass or copper, they don't mark up what you're hitting usually, depending on what that is, of course, but very handy. Use it all the time. Once again, if anything, if I ever broke the handle or anything, I'd stop exactly what I was doing and put a new handle on immediately. I use it that often. The final thing I'm going to go over here, and this is, as you'll be able to see, a woodpecker's scale or ruler, depending on your preference. This is the 24 inch, the 2-footer. It's all aluminum. It's been machined. It's one piece. It is fairly stout. It's nice and straight. No bows, no curvature, anything. It has standard scale, and then if you flip it, it has the center scale. Very handy. I use it daily almost. Very handy when you need a good straight edge, dragging a line, cutting against, whatever. I have recently placed the order for the 12-inch model and the 36-inch model. Looking forward to getting a hold of those. I'll be excited. I'll do an unboxing when I get them. We'll have a look at them. But I use this thing to death, and I could probably survive without the 12-inch model, but I gotta have the 36. It just too many times when this needs to be a little longer, and oddly enough, it typically doesn't need to be 36. It needs to be about 30 or 32 inches is what I really need. But the 36 is the next size up. It also has holes drilled and tapped on both ends. They do have a T-fitting that you can order to put on there. I haven't done that. I haven't had a need for it, but I absolutely love the woodpecker stuff. And that's just basically it. This is the pile of things I can't live without. I couldn't function or get any of these videos out without this stuff. Any questions I can answer, please feel free to hit me in the comments. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate it. and I'll link to everything I possibly can in the description, so you'll have won't have any trouble finding it. The hammer, which is custom made, custom built, you're kind of on your own there, but I can tell you, it's not a difficult build. I mean, if you can go online and order a piece of brass bar stock, cut it to length with a hacksaw, the right sandpaper will flatten and clean up the face, and you got to drill one hole through the middle, so shouldn't be a problem. Once again, shoot me a comment or an email, and I can help you out with a hammer if you need help with it, or I can offer any advice. That's all I got for now. Hope this helps. Have a good one. Catch you next time.